Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show. It is our last regular season show. It is championship week. I cannot believe we're already here. This is also the first time we've all been together since Michigan killed Ohio State, since Brandon cursed everything. So, Dave, where are we standing right now?
No. It's the first time since Michigan Ohio State, but it's the second time we've been together since I cursed everything.
Yeah, but
that's not fair. That's not right.
The effects are lingering.
That's not right.
But it all came to fruition.
I faced that demon last week.
No.
I'm
You
still
cost
getting
me a Big Ten West title.
I'm still losing every bet. My team's doing well, but the mush of the vibes, I've calmed down a little bit. He's seven-figure change of swing from Brandon, but I don't even want to talk about that. I got other things to talk about. Primarily, the gigantic shift in what has happened in the Big Ten. And I'm not Ev, that slim, handsome man over there, because I don't even. I have to go down to insulting him because he has nothing. Big Ev. And I'm not, you know what? Attractive Ev has nothing now. He has been reduced to rubble. Everything he stands for, everything he has in his life is gone, as is everything that Ohio State has in their life, gone. They're celebrating. They beat Duke last night. We're filming in some ways. They beat Duke in basketball. And they threw a parade. We're playing, what, December 1st, late November, college basketball? Who cares about that? Ohio State is acting like won the national championship. I wasn't even paying attention. The Big Ten Championship is this week, and I'm telling you, everybody on this panel, especially Big, and I know it stinks for Big Ev, he should be rooting. You, Dan, and Big Ev, Slim Ev, should be rooting for Michigan.
Oh, I am. I want the Big Ten.
For the pride of the Big Ten, and I hope you can find it within you, Ev, to root for, because we're going to do something that you guys rarely, if ever, are able to do, and that's close the deal. Now, do I remember Brand Walker? Oh, they're going to get their shit kicked out of them. It's Ohio State. He doesn't know nothing about football. And it wasn't just the fashion, or it wasn't just that they won. It was the fashion in which they did. They bullied them at the basic nature of football and manhood. They said, hey, we're going to line up and we're going to run it between the tackles, and there ain't nothing you can do. You could put your whole sidelines in the box and we're going to run for 10 yards of carry. There was nothing they could do at any point in the game. They were lucky it was that close, to be honest. Like the times Ohio State scored, they needed a ball to be caught like in a guy's asshole off a thing, and a great catch in the corner. Michigan could have gone on forever just running it up the middle. Harbaugh, when he says Ryan Day, is on third base and acts like he hit a triple, there may be something to that. And we're rejuvenized. Let's look at the old Stanford teams he had, times 100. But this is rear view. Like, Ohio State's dead to me, and all over my social media, crybaby Ohio State fans. Oh, you win what? We won last week. We took you out of the BCS. We're going to the Big Ten Championship. And hand to God, I think we have a chance to win the whole thing. Yeah, Georgia's a good football team. Brandon Walker doesn't know shit about anything. He's going to tell you they're unbeatable. Just like he said Michigan had no chance to beat Ohio State. I'm going to go to Indiana this weekend. Iowa, I like Iowa, nice school. Casey's Pizza sucks. We are going to beat them probably like a drum. They're nice people, bunch of Trents. And then probably Cincinnati. Maybe Houston beats them. It doesn't. Well, you said we had no chance, right?
Oh, you're going to play Oklahoma State.
No, but you said we had no chance.
So we're going to beat Oklahoma State.
You did say, the worst part about that clip was, too, you're like, can I talk?
Yeah, I wasn't even
Well, I was wrong.
Terrible.
No,
but it was
there's wrong, and then there's egregiously wrong.
Everything has been building to this moment. Like, everything.
What?
I don't get to talk about it?
Oh, do you want
I
Brandon to
don't
talk about
care.
it?
Brandon does what he wants.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to fucking kill them. They're a lot better football team. Michigan's fake.
And you were egregiously wrong.
That's fine. I was egregiously wrong.
You were egregiously wrong about Michigan all season.
That's fair, and I've said that multiple
Dan
times.
and I both had Michigan money line.
I had money line.
Yeah, we both had money line.
You had them. Yeah, you both had them. You both had them.
I put
This
$1,500 on the money line.
No, you did. It was a good bet. But you did have it because he was going to Miami. That was the.
Doesn't matter.
It's a good bet. It's a good bet.
What do you mean? You're discrediting a money line
I'm
bet?
crediting your
You
bet.
said that.
I'm
That's
crediting your bet.
absurd.
Money line bet that was really, if you know football, I know Ev is sitting there, we'll do it. When you can't stop, it doesn't matter who you are on what level. If they can hand it between the tackles for 10 yards every single carry, you got no shot. I can understand if it was a close game and a couple breaks. No. We stole Ohio State's manhood. They have no manhood.
Big Ev, how are we feeling over there?
It was brutal. I mean, it was There's nothing else to say, but it was. Let's not get away from the fact that Brandon was completely wrong. That Brandon mushed this whole thing.
Your team got their fucking ass
that
kicked.
Everyone on this panel lost. Everyone around you lost because of your doings.
I mean,
and what
Wisconsin
you did.
lost.
2 weeks in a row, we're making everything about me because he got his ass whipped.
This was a masterclass of vibes against me from Brandon doing what he did,
This is
to
bits
Dave
made.
being
This
in
is bits
Miami,
made.
to Rico having 1 million units, to then Cons coming and being thus a dark cloud of vibes sitting next to me as I tried to
Ordinarily,
will
Big
this team
Ev,
back.
ordinarily, I'd be like, there's something to it. But running the football, there's not that we could play 1,000 times, we'd beat you 1,000. You'd never stay within 14. That's how much better we are than
That's not true.
No, it is. Anybody watch that
you
game
were the
knows
better
it.
team that day, for sure.
Can we zoom in on
But
this?
it's 100,
sweatshirt
100.
for a
It
minute?
is a beautiful sweatshirt.
Not true.
We are men. We are absolute men, and you are little boys, and we push you all over the place. It was disgusting. The lack of just. Do you see that clip I retweeted of Hutchinson just throwing your lineman like 100 yards?
And Big Ev was like, I said before the game, I was like, you got to be worried about C.J. Stroud, like with these defensive ends. He's like, they don't pass my eye test.
Aiden Hutchinson at one point had like 13 sacks, which is like the best in school history, and he was like, nah, he sucks.
Well, I'm talking shit.
Well,
but
right,
I mean,
but I mean-
he's a good football player. But
laughing at how weak Ohio State is. And what do you have in this type of weather in Columbus? I've been there. There's the pale brick building. You got to be able to. You have nothing.
it was a wake-up call that we become too much of a finesse team. You can have all the athletes, this and that. If you can't stop the run, you can't block. You're not.
I got to be honest. I don't know that there's anything worse, not only in sports, but in life, than being called finesse in a pejorative manner, which you are. Like Gaddis said it too. He's like, they're just finesse. We're tough.
Damn.
He's right. He's right.
I admit
There's
it.
nothing worse
I
than Washington
wanted that to
get the
breathe
ball
for
run
2
down
seconds.
them.
We've become too.
Finesse has never been used in a positive sports. Where?
The Blackhawks won a Stanley Cup where it was like everyone's like, they don't have any big guys they can't hit. It's like, well, we just fucking are better
Finessed.
than everyone.
Yeah, just finessed.
Maybe not finesse.
we
That was
got-
speed.
Yeah.
More
That's
skill.
speed.
That's
That was
skill.
Yeah,
speed.
skill.
Like the
Skill.
speed.
We got too comfortable with just being faster. That doesn't always win, obviously.
Well, when you're just getting dominated.
Michigan's offensive line was.
No, they did. And
John
impressive.
Madden said
John
it's the
Madden,
best
yes.
offensive line plays.
No, they dominated the game. We didn't make adjustments on defense either.
What adjustment could you have made though?
You can't. That's
actually stack. We never stacked the
matter
box.
if
you didn't have the guys.
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying that's what happened. I don't know if it mattered. We never made adjustments. We never even tried to stack the box. We never tried to make them beat us with the pass.
I'm not going to let you distract me from my job at hand, which is a national championship.
You got 3 wins.
But honestly,
3 more wins.
when do you
Tough to
think the
do.
next time you can compete with us is?
We just dominated you for a decade straight.
Oh, and there we go. The history.
Listen, at least
Listen, we dominated you when I was in school.
Yeah.
Big deal.
The 3 of us were on the right side of history with Michigan, but we are going to move forward. We are.
I think they
No,
can.
I mean, it sucks. I'm like, I was happy for Harbaugh and I was happy I won my bet, but if Michigan's back again, this is going to be
it's
untenable.
Oh well, Michigan's back. That's
This is going to be untenable for next year.
That's done. That even if they lose to Iowa, Michigan's back.
If they lose to Iowa though.
If it was Iowa,
No, if they lose to Iowa, they're
if it
not
was
back.
Iowa,
That's
Absolutely
joking
not
again.
back.
That's
Absolutely
a
not
joke.
back. That's a
No,
wrong
no, no.
statement.
That's wrong.
That's a wrong statement. If they lose to
they're
Iowa
back.
and lose, don't win the Big Ten championship, and they lose it out on the playoff, they are absolutely not back.
No.
Dave, that's
This is
loser
a
talk.
huge
That's
joke.
loser talk.
I think they're going to win the whole
That's
thing.
incorrect. No, but what you just said.
Well, when people
they
say,
lose to Iowa, they are not
No.
back.
When people say teams are back, like Texas, for example, what's the highest they've ever been ranked?
But no,
Texas
Dave,
is never back. That's the joke.
But
They're never
if
back.
you're number 2,
Yeah.
But if you lose,
Right,
when this
but
championship
going into
time,
the
Dave,
final, no.
that would be
Well, Michigan's
that
won
would be
one
old,
title.
That would be old school Michigan though, of
But
like
Michigan's only
they
won
have
one
a little
title.
success and then they fall back.
No, we're way beyond we
gotta
have
win
Penn
this game.
State,
They gotta win this
Wisconsin.
game. They gotta win
we
this
didn't.
game.
Again, I got to say this for everybody else. We didn't just beat Ohio State. We beat Ohio State up. I bet those poor kids from Ohio haven't left their dorm room.
We're going to talk about that game in just a little bit, and we'll settle this of what it means. But first, we're going to go to the ACC number 15.
We have that clip of Brandon Walker. Oh, Ohio State.
yeah.
Yes, we
What
have
an
that.
idiot.
Definitely.
It was the first part where he's like, "Do I not get to talk?"
Well, I know I accidentally skipped him, and then Dave gave him
I was
permission.
wrong. I was wrong.
No, you weren't wrong. That, again, is underplaying.
I was
And
very
listen,
wrong.
I don't like to go against you very often, so I don't like when you're upset with me, but you've been saying I'm dumb all year that Michigan's better than Ohio State.
I have been saying that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you. I
100%.
appreciate
She's
that.
smarter than you.
owned Michigan this year, she has been smarter than me, yeah.
Did that take a lot for you to say that?
No, it was easy.
Oh.
Men, you
Walker tells the
underestimated what man football is.
Let's get to the Sling Weekend preview. If you love watching live sports and you're tired of paying high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience and get Sling. Live TV starting at just $35 and only $10 for your first month. And starting right now, Sling gives you access to the new Barstool Sports channel, 24 hours of our content exclusively on Sling. Go to sling.com/Barstool, sign up, and your first month is just $10. Again, like I said, it is championship week. We're going to go to the ACC. Very weird to not see Clemson in this game after what they've been doing the last few years. But number 15, Pitt, at number 16, Wake Forest. It is in Charlotte, so neutral site, but Pitt favored by 3. Brandon, I will start with you. I think everybody right now is just trying to, Clemson had a fine year.
Right.
But the fact that they're not.
They won 10 games. They actually ended up a lot better.
They went 9-3.
They're going to win their 10th.
You don't know that.
Okay, I just told you they were.
A fine year, but this game feels like it's just completely lackluster because neither one of these teams.
It feels like that, but that's not fair. I mean,
Well,
listen,
they're not going to the
these are
playoff.
two of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. This is a guy, Kenny Pickett, who very well probably could or should win the Heisman. Like, he's right there with Bryce Young, lays an egg against Georgia. He could sneak
Bryce
up
Young,
if he lays an egg against Georgia.
I'm so sick of Bryce Young's Heisman moment when he was 20 for 50 against.
When he didn't have a point through 3 quarters against a bad
Yes.
defense.
How about
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson? Did you see what he did
He's plus 650
against
right
Ohio
now.
State?
Aiden
He
Hutchinson's
took
plus
the
650.
lineman, Ev, and he humped him like Reggie White used to. He threw him 30 yards in the backfield, Big Ev.
There are 2 players that could win the Heisman this week that are off the radar. It's Kenny Pickett if he puts up a huge number, and it's Aiden Hutchinson. If he has 3 sacks against Iowa again, he might jump the line. He's at plus 650. Last week he was at plus like 5,000. So he is way up there. Anyway, over here, neither of these teams play defense, and they can both throw the ball. It's going to be points.
Total at 73. Dan, what do you think?
I will take the over. I will also take Pittsburgh because Wake Forest has had a very nice season, very good team. They've stepped up in class a few times. They lost to NC. They lost to Clemson. They struggled with NC State. I think Pittsburgh has some dudes, so they'll be able to slow them down just enough. Wake Forest has no defense.
None.
So who's going to get more stops? I'll take Pittsburgh getting more stops than Wake Forest. It's going to be high scoring. Give me the 3.
Dave?
Yeah, I'm having such a hard time concentrating. I just don't know how Iowa's going to stop the run. There are 2 teams that are built similar, but one team is far superior at what they do and has real men, as we saw last
Iowa
week.
has a very good defense.
Yeah, well,
they can't score, but they have a very good defense.
Well, if you
Are you
can't,
going to take Iowa?
you can't score. That's fine. But we clicked it into gear.
Also, when you say they can't score, they really can't score. They score off of turnovers.
Correct.
And,
Yeah.
and Michigan's
Michigan
going to
doesn't
wear
turn the
them
ball
down
over.
with those men on the offensive line, like what we did to Ohio. I'll take the over.
I'm going to take Pitt in the over as well. Let's go to the AAC. This game means a lot to Cincinnati, number 21 Houston versus number 14 Cincinnati. It is in Cincinnati. The total right now at 53, Cincinnati favored by 10. Obviously, if Cincinnati wins, Dan, I know we've been talking a lot about them being in the playoff. If they win, barring some crazy...
They're in.
They win, they're in. Unless
Alabama,
there's a situation where
and
Oklahoma State jumps them in Alabama.
Well, we're going to talk about
Alabama's not
the SEC Championship soon. But obviously, if they handle business, they are much.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lose to Houston, they're done.
No, but there's not. It's not a crazy scenario for them to not get in. I do think they will be in.
According to you, it would be.
They're in
Oh
really
yeah,
good
my
shape.
game of the year. You're right.
They're in really good
You're
shape.
right. You're right. My game of the year says that it would not be. But yeah, they are in good shape. I'll take Houston though in the points. Houston. The craziest part about this game, Houston is one bad half in week 1 away from this being an elimination game for the college football playoff.
Against the Power 5 team.
Yeah, Houston fell apart in the second half against Texas Tech, week 1, and they haven't lost since. I'll take Houston plus 10. I think Cincinnati, there has to be nerves knowing that this is the biggest game and you have everything in front of you and all you got to do is win. It's kind of the reverse of that game they played in South Bend where it was like, this is the biggest game in program history. This is the biggest win in program history. Everything's geared up toward it. This is the biggest game in program history, and really, everyone's expecting them to win, and they could blow it. That's got to be nerve-wracking.
Exactly. Dave.
Houston's playing for free.
Yes.
I just want to say, when they came out of the second half and Ohio State thought they were going to run the ball 3 times on us and get a first down, and we were just flick them away like flies. I know Slim Ev said that's when you got worried. You came out, ran the ball 3 times, just stomped on your face. I bet East Carolina against Houston should have covered, blocked field goal,
I did
touchdown.
Too. Yep.
Devastating.
Yep.
I like Houston to stay within the number.
Devastating.
Brandon?
And that quarterback stinks.
And they had so many chances to score a touchdown. Ugh.
I go the opposite of Dan, kind of using the same logic. This is the biggest game. And a couple weeks ago, they had SMU at home, and they killed them. They won on the road against ECU last week. I think in this moment, Cincinnati will step up, and they will cover this number. Houston, great defense, not a great offense, though. So I like Cincinnati. Being at home is such a big deal. If this were a neutral site game or in Texas, I would worry about Cincinnati. But being at Nippert Stadium, that's a unique place. I like Cincinnati here to cover the number.
I feel like Cincinnati is all their fans, everybody, they're like, oh, we're already in the playoff, which makes me a little bit nervous for them. I'm going to take Houston in the points because they're already just like, oh, well, we're going to be in the playoff.
Again, they're definitely not already in the playoff
I agree with you.
because the committee put them at 4.
Right.
Like, the committee has put them at 4, and the 2 teams in front of them have a loss. The committee is looking for a way to sneak them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very, very apparent. If they win, they're in, most likely.
Unless
other things happen. But it's so clear that, like, the committee's basically, it's a button that they can press because they've set it all up to be like, well, they were 4 and now they're out.
Yeah, and again, I feel like everybody that's involved with Cincinnati just already assumes that they're going to be playing for the playoffs. So I'm going to take Houston in the points. All right, Dave, I know we've been talking a lot about this game, but the Big Ten Championship does make me very sad, Dan, because I do think that we all thought it was going to be Michigan-Wisconsin.
I didn't think it would. Dan, I've known Dan for 2 decades now. He was more off on this Wisconsin team than you started saying they're very good. Then you got off and you said they were good again.
No, they were good again. They played chicken shit football, and Braylon Allen got hurt in that second half.
He's only 17 years old.
He's only 17. He got hurt in that second half. It did change, like, everything. They were, I don't know if you watched the end of the game, like, Wisconsin was down 7, and they were taking, like, deep shots with 10 minutes left because they didn't have a running back anymore. So I was off in the beginning of the season when I thought they were going to be really good. That was, like, Minnesota didn't kill Wisconsin. They just fucking lost.
Minnesota
lost to Bowling Green.
Yeah,
they punted from the 35.
Yeah, that was bad.
Shit football.
So Big Ten Championship, number 2 Michigan versus number 13 Iowa. It's in an Indy. Michigan favored by 3.5.
Yeah. So listen, I like Iowa. The train, they say it doesn't run. Iowa is one of the favorite places I visited. A bunch of Trents. They're all nice people, and I like Iowa football generally. I think they're generally disrespected and pretty good and play similar. They're kind of like Michigan in a lot of ways, except just not nearly as good. They don't have the men that we do. If they played Ohio State, they wouldn't beat them by like 14, 20 with their eyes closed like we did to them this past weekend. It is obviously a letdown spot for Michigan. I've been paying attention to what they're doing. But I think they're that much better than Iowa. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's a little bit close and we're looking ahead, getting ready for the BCS.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm not taking a side because I think the letdown potential is huge here, but I love the number. I love 43.5. I don't see how Iowa scores against this defense. Even if you have a letdown, your defense still has Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson. Iowa can't
see what Aiden Hutchinson did to
the offensive line.
Adam humped him.
He threw him 30 yards.
Iowa can't even score against average defenses.
Right.
Can't score against average defenses. I like the number here. I like 43.5. I like under. I like Michigan to win like a 20-7 ball.
I think Michigan, there's a real chance they and this happens in football, both pro, college, where they've clicked it. Like that game, they just clicked into gear, and they're going to be playing on a level that is so far above.
A ton of confidence.
Yeah, I watched the fuck out. I'm telling you, we're going to do what Ohio State rarely does. Ohio State goes in and gets embarrassed and stuff, and everyone's, Big Ten. No. We're going to defend the Big Ten. I told the state of Michigan, I told Michigan State little brother, we should be ranked ahead of you. You won by fluke. I said, we're going to avenge what happened to you. We did that by kicking the shit out of them.
Dan?
I'll take Michigan. Iowa, good season. I'm not going to say that they're frauds. I think most Iowa fans know what they are.
They're that every year.
They can't score, but even sometimes they'll have like a decent
long-haired
offense.
quarterback who scrambles around.
They were number 2 this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, their offense is bad. They can score only by turnovers and special teams. Well, guess what? Michigan doesn't turn the ball over. They also have decent special teams, good special teams. So I don't see how Iowa ends up with more than 13 points, and Michigan's going to put up 24 points.
I think it's a very conservative Michigan game plan.
But even conservative, that's the thing, like conservative can still score points.
Listen, everybody here saw what Michigan did to Ohio State last weekend.
And you see
that game plan was conservative. They were just running the football.
Listen, you just dominated them on a physical, mental, spiritual, human level. On every way that you can be dominated, we dominated.
And look at the 2 teams that Iowa played that they played like good defense. Actually, Purdue, they played a good defense too. Purdue has a decent defense, but like when Iowa played Wisconsin this year, Wisconsin has a very, very good defense. Wisconsin kicked the shit out of Iowa. So if you can, like, if you come with a good defense, Iowa has no answer.
Ev, would you like to weigh in on this game?
Sure. I mean, I don't see the letdown spot as much as a lot of other people do. I mean, when you've been as pathetic as they've been for a decade,
he goes back
they
in
haven't
the
played,
history
have not
books.
played in a
This is
Big
pathetic.
Ten title game
This is
under
pathetic.
Harbaugh. This is a game that
shouldn't
is a
fire
letdown
Ryan
game.
Day.
This is a game you get up for. Like,
You
how do you
should
not
fire
get up for this?
Ryan
They've
Day.
never been in this spot. They don't know what it feels like. They're still going to get fired up for this game, and Iowa is bad.
Ev, what do you?
They are
Ryan
a fraud.
But what do you think
not bad.
about the triple comment from Harbaugh?
I mean, he's still recruited well. Listen, obviously he inherited a good football team. Obviously, they were national championship contender every year. But I mean, he's still recruited elite guys.
But has he recruited well? I mean, the middle of his
he
team
has.
just got gutted in front of everybody.
Gutted.
I mean, he's still.
Like a
I mean,
fish.
we've still gotten.
He didn't recruit offensive linemen or defensive linemen that could stand up with Michigan.
I mean, he
In
had.
the
We
trenches.
lost- It was one game. We lost
but
the game.
yeah, but
Lost the
you
football
don't just. That's not a game like, skill guys drop ball weird. When you just get physically dominated in the trenches, that's not something. Oh, it's just one game. That would happen every game. You just don't turn the trenches. The trenches are the trenches.
Because
We
all
punched you in
the
face
elite,
and
the
you
elite
didn't know what to
defensive,
do.
the elite defensive linemen that he's recruited, they're all extremely young. A lot of them weren't on the.
Was that one of the guys who got thrown 30 yards?
What? That was an offensive lineman.
Oh, was he one of them?
No, he's been around.
Oh, oof.
I am going to take Michigan. I love that all weekend when people were like, oh, you're rooting for Michigan as your school. I have been very vocal all year. Brandon, you can attest how good I thought Michigan was. I bet on them every week. I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to celebrate if they do, despite what the haters think. I'm also going to take the under. I like that. I do not think Iowa is going to score. We're going to get to the Big 12 and the SEC in just a second, but first, it is time for High Noon Trivia with Brandon Walker. High Noon Hard Seltzer. You guys know the drill. Real vodka, real juice, sparkling water, 100 calories, gluten-free, no added sugar, the perfect drink for game day. Real vodka, real juice for real fans, just like you guys watching this show. Brandon, take it away.
All right. So last week's winner at BW Wallette, who's a huge fan of you, Casey, and me.
Oh.
He listens to Unnecessary Roughness a lot, so good for him.
Shout out
Hashtag
BW.
High Noon Trivia. All right. So in the 30-something year history, or 29-year history of the SEC Championship game, there has been one two-time SEC Championship game MVP. Who was it?
Danny Werfel.
Backup question. Backup. How did you do that so fast?
I
Why
love
wouldn't you say Tebow?
Spurrier.
Why wouldn't
I
you
love
say Tebow?
Spurrier because I know Tebow wasn't.
All right, this one, you won't get this
I
one.
love Spurrier.
This is our question. That was very impressive.
Spurrier's the fucking best. So I wish Spurrier was still.
Danny
coaching.
Werfel won 95-96 SEC Championship
Like,
game.
there's something about a coach that's like, I'm just going to run it up on your fucking face, and there's nothing you can do about
In
it.
the last 10 years, 3 defensive players have won SEC Championship game MVP. Who are those players? Last 10 years, three defensive
last
players.
10 years?
Have, in the last decade, yes. 3 defensive players have won SEC Championship game MVP. Who are they? You name one, then we'll move on.
Aiden Hutchinson.
He actually plays for Michigan.
Gotcha.
Who won it last year, Devontae?
I don't know who won it last year, but it wasn't a defensive player.
What, the Auburn defensive tackle?
No. Also wouldn't have been a decade ago. He was a decade and a year ago. Nick Fairley.
Should we just move on?
Oh, I think we should
All
move
right,
on.
let's
Good
move
stuff.
on.
Come on.
I know Dan's gonna stew
Gotta
on
get
this.
one of these. This is embarrassing for you.
CJ Mosley.
Incorrect. Let's move.
Okay, let's move on. We're gonna
Wait.
get. Oh.
I'm actually now like blanking on.
I wanted to say Roquan Smith, but they never
SEC
won the game.
Yeah, they didn't. SEC Championship.
Is that one of them, even though they
Did they
lost?
not?
Oh yeah, they did because then they lost to Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl.
Roquan Smith.
Or they beat Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. Yes.
Roquan Smith is correct. Let's
Yes.
go.
Okay, now we're moving on.
Bears.
Linebacker. Yes. Bears.
Sling.
I forgot. I blanked out that whole. The fact that Georgia won the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Then
Lost.
beat Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl, then lost to Alabama.
Yes.
Like
And Alabama wasn't even in that.
because Alabama, yeah, right. Alabama basically just got to wash away Georgia's incredible season.
Yeah. In,
Yes.
in overtime.
It's like completely blanked from my mind.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's get to the championship weekend preview part 2 presented by Sling. We're going to go to the Big 12, number 9 Baylor versus number 5 Oklahoma State. It is at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Oklahoma State favored by 5.5. The total at 46.5. Bedlam was insane. The fact that I thought I was going to take the under in that game is just clownish. So many points. Oklahoma State comes out on top. Dan, I will start with you. Mike Gundy finally kind of getting over the hump and playing Baylor. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm going to take Baylor in the points. I think just Baylor's a solid team all around. I like Dave Aranda as a coach. 5.5 points. It feels like a field goal game to me. Oklahoma State doesn't really have blowout potential of teams unless they can completely shut you down. I think Baylor will still score a little bit. So This feels like a, I don't know, 21-17 game.
What's weird, Brandon, is we talked about Oklahoma State's defense being so good, and they couldn't stop anything from OU last week.
They absolutely stopped Oklahoma.
Well, I mean,
yeah, they did.
In the second
In the second half, they dominated
Second half, but I
Oklahoma.
mean,
they dominated Oklahoma in the second half.
Well, I mean-
They gave up a punt, a block for a touchdown. They gave up a safety. Oklahoma didn't score a point in the second half.
Yeah, first half though, Oklahoma.
First half, they could do whatever they
Oklahoma
wanted.
State's defense has 12 games or 11 and a half games of elite football play. So I'm good with that. There was a half where Oklahoma was okay. But I think this is a bigger letdown spot than Michigan. This is an actual letdown spot because
because we beat them so badly. We were already on to the Big Ten championship in the second quarter.
Look how great of a week Oklahoma State has had. Not only did they beat them for the first time in a while, not only is Mike Gundy now 3-14 against Oklahoma, Oklahoma's like embarrassing themselves right now. They're going through it. Oklahoma State is living the good life, and Baylor's just sitting there. They've already beat Baylor once, and it was tough. Baylor plus 5.5 is the play.
Dave?
Yeah, I got sick to my stomach hearing Brandon talk about that Oklahoma State game because that was a large wager I placed. I didn't watch. I was watching my phone. I didn't know they scored safety and a punt return.
They blocked a punt inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, no, Oklahoma, basically the first half of that game was true bedlam.
Right.
Like just chaos. And then the second half, there was chaos towards the end, but the second half of the game, Oklahoma State found their footing.
But the first
they
half
came
was
back.
Good,
I lost by half a point. I think Baylor wins this game, but that was depressing to hear. I was on the right side and didn't get credit. That's just been happening to me over and over since the vibe turn.
This also sucks because you've just been living your life thinking that you lost that bet like fair and square.
And
But
you just didn't. Yeah,
Right,
it was definitely chaos.
It's well, you know what? When Michigan wins the national championship, maybe it'll be worth it.
I mean, Oklahoma State, obviously, if they win, we assume they're in the playoff, yeah?
yeah, no, you can't say that.
No, I
safely.
think you can, and I'll tell you why. I think even if Alabama wins, I think that puts the onus on Cincinnati because this would be Oklahoma State's third top 15 win, and they would then jump Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're right.
So if they win, I think they're in.
Yeah, so if they win.
I don't know what I was thinking there.
And I'm going to take Oklahoma State because I do think that they are going to be in the playoff. And I mean, I just want Mike Gundy to get over the hump. I hate Baylor. I've always hated Baylor, so I'm going to take Oklahoma State. Let's go to the SEC Championship. Number 1, Georgia versus number 3, Alabama. Of course, it's in Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Georgia favored by 6.5, which I think some people thought was a little low. The total at 50. Dave, I will start with you.
I think it's a perfect spread. I know Dan loves Georgia.
Game of the year. It's my game of the year.
I feel like I did see a stat, and I don't know exactly. Like Alabama hasn't been an underdog in
2015.
and they won by 40 when they were, right?
That I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Something just bad just happened to me too
say that.
when we were talking about SEC and Roquan Smith and Georgia playing Alabama in the SEC Championship game. One of the largest wagers of my life was the SEC Championship game when Aaron Murray just threw a 4-yard out
Clock ran out on them.
when they were on the 10-yard line.
2012.
I had Georgia, and I remember just visibly being like,
Yeah,
what are they doing?
I actually had Georgia 2 years in a row, I think, money line versus Alabama, and they were leading, I feel like, in the third, both those games.
35-14.
And didn't win.
So the game that you're talking about was in 2015. It was 38-10.
They won.
Yes.
Last night.
And what year am I talking
Yikes.
about?
They beat
2012
Georgia
SEC
38-10.
All right, so that's what was just said makes me a little nervous. So first time since 2015, Alabama has been an underdog, 80-game streak. Last time they were underdog was against Georgia. They beat them 38-10. That makes me nervous.
Yeah. Agreed.
And Kirby Smart
that
has
2015 Alabama team was elite.
Yeah, but Kirby Smart's
They had
also
a
never
Heisman
beat
winner.
Why
Nick
were they
Saban.
underdogs?
Well, Georgia, we also thought Georgia was elite that time. They weren't. But this Alabama team hasn't shown anything like that 2015 Alabama team all year.
Then how did they? I don't know enough about the past. I know you said we had no chance versus
Well, that's
Ohio
the past,
State.
too.
But I'm just saying, I can't take anything you say seriously. Something happened with that team.
Been
that
here for
allowed
12 weeks. I said one thing.
That allows them to be taken, what allowed them to be underdog if they're so great? If they're so
They had
elite?
lost. They had already lost to Ole Miss, and that was probably close to when they lost to Ole Miss. They
Okay, well
lost to Ole
then
Miss at
how are
home.
they so elite then? if they lost to Ole Miss.
We thought they weren't elite at the time.
So couldn't
in hindsight, they
what
are
happens if Alabama kills Georgia and then wins? It won't, because we're here. But let's just hypothetically say they win by 30 the next 3 games.
They've spent 12
You look back and say they're elite.
But they've spent 12 games showing us that they're not.
They lost to Ole Miss.
Beating Florida by 2, beating Auburn
They beat
in 4
Ole Miss by
overtimes.
100. They're pretty
beat them by
good.
21. That's their best win. But they beat Arkansas by 6, beat LSU by 6. They've shown time and time again they're not.
I think Georgia is going to win the game by more than 7, but I'm saying that makes me.
What year was it?
2015.
They lost to Ole Miss 43-36, and then
beat Georgia by 28 in the SEC Championship
As an underdog.
What was the line?
I believe Mark Richt got fired either after that year or the next
The
year.
line was 1.
Wait, I'm looking right now. 2015 says that it was Florida, Alabama.
Now
I don't
we're
know
all
what you're talking
6s and
about.
7s.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It didn't say the SEC Championship game.
Yeah, it's SEC Championship.
No, but they never said that game was the SEC Championship game. They just said that game was in the regular season.
2015.
Yeah, it was in
got
October.
Got it.
Yeah, I think it was
Got it.
Probably between October 1st and 30th.
Got it. So it was
Probably,
in
I would
Georgia,
assume.
so that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, still though they
of why they were
it just makes
underdogs.
Yeah, it's not in the
all
championship.
being,
Yeah, okay, that makes
we're
sense.
all being very, and Brandon Walker has taught everybody one of the hardest lessons about vibes. We're all being like, oh, who cares that they happen to be playing Georgia again as an underdog. I just think let's
2.5 point favorite. They were
Underdog.
Technically, Alabama was kind of even a favorite.
I like Georgia, but it makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, I know that Georgia has shown that they're one of the best teams in the country. I think Michigan is up there right now, but
No, absolutely not. Michigan's been good. Georgia's been the best team in the country all year, far and away.
We have by far a more impressive win than they do.
So far, yeah.
So, but I just said one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, but you said Michigan's up there with them.
I think we're going to find that out.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but Georgia
that
is
you
Well,
know.
who's
I mean,
Georgia's
you've
most
been wrong.
impressive?
Georgia's unanimous number 1.
No,
They deserve to be.
They've been
We have
in
a
the
They
loss.
deserve to be.
We
We
have
all
a
have
loss.
them as number 1, but I don't understand if it's who's their most impressive win.
It's either Arkansas or Kentucky, but it's not who. It's not who. It's how. It's not who. It's how.
I believe that Georgia is.
It's not who, it's how.
They beat Clemson 10-3.
That wasn't
Jump
great.
over.
No, I'm not. I have Georgia's my game of the year, you
jump over.
motherfucker.
Just jump over.
I have
No,
Georgia's
no,
my game of the year.
Fine.
What you just said was not great.
It's not who, it's
when
how.
someone
It's
asks
not
you
who, it's how.
who's the best win of the season,
They don't have
and
a
you
great
say
win. I already said they didn't have a
Arkansas
great
or
win.
Kentucky,
But
it hurts us.
I had already said we
You
didn't
could have
have-
said Clemson.
You took
Clemson's
a
better than
problem,
those two teams.
But they didn't even score versus Clemson.
But you also took a problem with me just saying they're one of the best teams in the country.
No,
but
the
I
way
think
you said it was like.
I said they are one of the
but
best teams in the
here's-
country.
Put them on even.
I have them at number 1.
I'm
I have
going
them at number 1.
I have Georgia's my game of the year. What are you
Fine.
talking
I wasn't
about?
talking to you. I was looking at them.
But here is
I have Georgia as number 1 in the country.
Here is
I have
where-
it here.
What you said was a little.
No,
I said
it's
they're one of
fair
the best teams in the country because
let
Michigan
me
is up
tell you
there
this.
now.
He's so dumb and stupid and ignorant.
Shut the fuck up with that. Shut the fuck up with that.
If it was Ohio State who beat Michigan and you said Ohio State's one of the best teams in the country, he wouldn't have said a word.
No, I know he wouldn't
because
have.
you thought Ohio State could give Georgia.
I thought they were the best matchup for Georgia. I did think
well,
that.
So why
I was
is
wrong.
No,
I was
because
wrong.
the bullies from the Midwest are here.
But I don't understand why if I said they're one of the best teams in the country.
Big Ev, you finesse little team.
Georgia
I have
has kicked the shit
Out of everybody.
Shit, it's not who, it's how.
We just kicked the shit out of the team you thought could give them problems. Kicked the shit out of them.
all season you told me
Took Ed
Ohio
State
State.
won
dog
at
mess.
Auburn when
Like,
Auburn was
do
18
something
and
about a
Kentucky
little
14.
boy.
That's their best win.
All I'm
That
saying
probably is.
all
As
season
at Auburn when Auburn was good.
Kentucky's 9-3.
Oh, I know Kentucky's good.
all
but it's just
season-
saying-
And they've been in 30.
It's like
All
we needed
season.
more than that.
Georgia has killed everybody.
Everybody.
except for Clemson.
Here's what I'm
all
gonna ask.
season, you told me on Unnecessary Roughness that Ohio State was
Thank
one of the
you.
best teams in the country.
I agree.
And,
I said
okay,
that.
so I can't say Michigan is when they're number 2 and they just fucking killed Ohio State.
She's right. If
Fine,
you said
fine, whatever.
if Ohio State had won, you said Ohio State's one of the best teams, you would have kept their little Bo Peep mouth shut.
But I said
but it's
Georgia-
Michigan, and you don't like Michigan because they're embarrassing you.
I don't mind Michigan.
Oh, come
I
on.
would've said-
Why'd you
if I would've said-
just freak out
Yes.
about that
I
statement?
didn't freak out. She's freaking out.
They're the number 2 team in the country.
They're one of the best teams in the country
That's
at
what she
number
said,
2.
and you're
That
like,
is literally what I said.
Okay, fine. Let's move on.
So
I don't know how Alabama's going to block Georgia up front.
That's what I
They
said
couldn't
with
block
Ohio
Auburn, they couldn't
State
block
and
Arkansas.
Michigan.
So you should be on
I'm on
Georgia.
Georgia.
That's man football.
Yes.
Like, I understand Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time. Here's another thing. Here's a little thing I like to say. Nick Saban, if you followed what he's been saying,
Yeah.
he knows he doesn't have the guys.
Correct.
He had a comment, a whole diatribe last week where he was like, when I got here, we were happy to win a game. Now you guys are mad at me because we're not beating LSU. If you saw him after the Iron Bowl, that's the happiest he's ever been.
Did you see how happy he was?
He was
That's not Nick Saban.
insanely happy because he knows he's got this team maxed out. And then if you want to go devil's advocate and be like, Georgia knows they're in, it doesn't matter. No. We just went down the list of all the times that Alabama has completely embarrassed Georgia.
Time to pay him back.
They need to pay him back. SEC Championship game. I am going to not only game of the year, I'm going to alternate spread the fuck out of this game.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, understandably. Also, Kirby Smart cannot ever beat Nick Saban. This is the year he gets over them. I'm taking Georgia because they are the #1 team in the country.
You're right, Dan, because when a team's at a bad streak and then you have another team and you can just punch them in the face over and over and over and over and over and they can't do a goddamn thing about it, you punch them in the face till you break their nose and break their brain and smash it into their skull, like Michigan did to Ohio State.
Okay, before we get to the locks of the week, we do need to talk about the coaching changes because since we have recorded, Lincoln Riley is now at USC. Oklahoma fans are pissed. Brian Kelly now is at LSU, leaving Oklahoma and Notre Dame wide open. Dan, I know we all found out at the same time on the Cyber Monday telethon.
Yes.
Your thoughts of Brian Kelly going to Baton Rouge?
It makes sense to me. There's a few things at play. You can throw out, the pay, I understand. I actually don't think that's the main motivator. He's getting paid a lot more at LSU, but I don't think that was the big thing because I think Notre Dame probably would have ponied up more if he had asked for it. He didn't even give him a chance to match. You can win a national title at LSU. I don't know if you can do that at Notre Dame. That's not saying Notre Dame's not a very good program. They're a top 10 program. They're actually recruiting right now at a level they've never recruited at, but the difference between the top teams and everyone else is so big, and no one knows it better than Brian Kelly. He has played in semifinal games. He's played in a national championship game when Bama beat him by 1 billion.
So when
he
you
knows.
so when you say that, you're just talking about academic requirements?
I'm talking about
You have to have a
academic
24
requirements.
ACT
What's
yeah.
that?
You have to have a 24 ACT at Notre Dame. It cuts your recruiting
Yeah,
list
so
in half.
when you say that, that's it. That's
Well,
what you mean.
that and also LSU is, you could make the argument, is the best job in the country simply by the fact that they are in a talent-rich state and they're the only act in town.
Right.
No one's going to another school in LSU.
Yeah,
Go to the top 10 roster without leaving an hour of
Right, no,
Right.
I get that, but I think it has to be academic. Still, I mean, I'll give credit. There's I don't know, 2 national schools that I think you can pull anywhere. Notre Dame is one of them, Michigan's the other. And then LSU get the talent, but it's required. It has to be academics because I still believe, and he has a great school, but Notre Dame's still Notre Dame.
No, but LSU's
Now-
a better job. I mean, no, LSU
the
is one
requirements.
the last 3 and also the talent
last
in
3
the
coaches-
state.
I don't agree with the talent near because I think Notre Dame is such a pull nationally. You can go anywhere.
Yeah, but if you start and build your base near, then you go out nationally.
Yeah,
LSU's
right.
has some national guys, a lot of
I
national
don't
guys.
doubt that.
They roll out of bed with 5 stars just being like, I'm already coming, I don't care who's
And
the
they're
coach.
trained to go there.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is if we work on the assumption that Notre Dame can get anybody in regardless of requirements, I think they recruit as good as LSU regardless.
You mean if you
So why
eliminate
haven't
everything?
they?
Well, no, because
No,
they're
no.
never going to eliminate the academic requirements.
Right,
academics.
that's the.
I don't think I think Notre Dame is one of the few schools where it they could
might be
actually
right.
go into Louisiana and pull because
I think
they're
there's a
Notre
lot
Dame.
more than just 2, though. Ohio State can do that. Ohio State can do
Ohio
that.
State's a joke.
Ohio State's quarterbacks from California, they can
Yeah,
go across
he
the
looked
country.
good.
Clemson goes across
He
the
got
country.
I mean,
dominated.
Okay, but
I mean, he
Georgia
threw
goes
for
across
400
the country.
yards.
All these teams go across the country now. That's not new and unique.
And you've also made
Well,
the point too
Clemson's
that
like a relatively new power.
They are, but they're a power because they can go anywhere in the country and get a guy.
that all these kids in Louisiana grow up wearing gold and purple,
Gold and purple,
like they all.
playing
There's
Right,
kids
right.
that were committed to LSU, 5-star recruits that committed to LSU, and they haven't had a coach in 2 months.
Right.
And they've stayed
Yeah,
committed.
I'm not downplaying LSU. I just think, and maybe it's because I'm a little older, like Notre Dame and Michigan are 2 special places.
And then what about Lincoln Riley to USC? Any
I
thoughts?
hope
That
it
makes
works.
perfect
I hope
sense
it
to
works because I think we all agree that USC being near the top of the sport would be more interesting
Absolutely.
than not being at the
I
top
don't
of the
think he's
sport.
such a good coach.
That I worry about. I worry about because he's got the same problem Ohio State had on Saturday. He is building teams that can score and look pretty with recruits and receivers, but he's getting his ass kicked in the middle of the field.
He's like one of those guys, though.
And also, like
that-
Ohio State, when they get to the playoff, they get exposed.
Yeah, but So
We've actually
the
won a
last
playoff.
2 times, yes.
We actually won a playoff.
They have won a playoff.
The last
Michigan,
2 times,
0.
yes.
Yeah, when? What, like
2014.
There's
Were we even
Won a
alive?
playoff.
there's a pretty fair sliding doors like theory that if they can that Rose Bowl game that we just mentioned with Roquan Smith, that if Oklahoma, and they were in that game, they almost won that
54
game.
to 51.
If they win that game, they probably win the national title.
Yeah.
Because then they play Alabama, and guess what Alabama does? They don't go to Tua because they can score on Oklahoma, and it's a shootout in Oklahoma. So Lincoln Riley's been like close enough where you can be like, all right, he was right on the doorstep.
He's a California guy. Yeah.
Is he?
I don't know.
Either way,
was.
he.
I think he is.
I think the difference with Lincoln Riley is like so people can be
looks
mad
like one.
at Brian Kelly because he left or whatever. Lincoln Riley.
You can't be mad at Chip Kelly because they did the same thing in Cincinnati.
No, of course. No, I'm saying though that like Brian Kelly, you can make the argument like, well, he had it.
Brian Kelly,
He had it pretty damn good at Notre Dame. Why would he do that?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
Texas guy.
Texas.
It's from Lubbock.
But Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma screwed him. Going to the SEC is a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Like he is not going to be able to win like he wins at Oklahoma in the Big 12 when they're in the SEC. So why the fuck would he stay?
I got to be honest though, if that is the reason,
Oh, it's absolutely the reason.
if that's the reason,
That's fine.
That's the last guy you want as your head coach.
Yeah,
because
that's
you have
fine.
no competitive spirit.
That's fine. But that's also like a
Because you look at Brian
geography.
Kelly, he's doing the dead ass opposite. He's got
Yeah, but that's a geography thing again. Like Oklahoma's not a state like Louisiana where you just have guys just fucking growing on trees you pick off and bring to your school.
Plus, if you
Oklahoma
can,
has gotten a fucking
Yeah, no,
awesome
they get,
players.
but they get a lot of guys from Texas. Texas A&M's now in the mix with SEC. I
They
just
get
think
a
it's-
lot of great receivers, quarterbacks, and running backs. They're not getting the 6'3" linebacker that changes. They're not getting Aiden Hutchinses of the world.
The-
They're
and then,
dominating.
and then ergo, what happens? You get beat up, Ev.
I just think Lincoln Riley is a case where they changed
One
the
time.
they changed the equation on him. So like he has, I don't know, Oklahoma was a great job. He cruised to a Big 12 championship. Like you're right, Dave. That if he's not up for the
I think
challenge,
it's a great
But if
opportunity
he-
for
if
us.
he-
Like
Yeah.
you'd think most people who have true,
Yeah.
like, could you, and I'm not, you're going all over sports, but the guys who
Yeah,
truly
no, you're
like,
right.
I want to be the fucking
That's a
best.
fair point.
You want to be there. That's going to be the center of college football.
But he also has
$100
that-
million in LA though.
He's going to LA. He wants to put his feet up.
he has a,
$100 million in
and
LA.
and
That
he
was
also,
a lifestyle play.
if he can resurrect
Yeah.
USC, he is that guy.
Jays.
yes, that's
Like
true.
if he
If you resurrect USC, you're on top of the sport.
right,
But,
like
but the thing about resurrecting USC, and maybe you can, it is, I guess, and yeah, you have talent out there, but again, the Pac-12 is so bad. It's like don't these kids want to be like on national television every week?
Well, that's
and
what's
big
happening
games?
right now. They're all going to Alabama and Ohio State.
But that's my point. How is even if USC becomes this superpower, their schedule stinks.
well,
Well,
but
the allure
Pete
of
Carroll
keeping
did it,
kids
though.
at
Right.
home,
Pete
like
Carroll did it. I mean, it can be done.
Ohio State and Alabama are both starting California quarterbacks. The last
And
thing I'd say
Clemson.
about Lincoln, and Clemson. Last thing I'll say about Lincoln Riley, to answer your question, Dave, because it's a fair point. If you shot Lincoln Riley with True Serum, I think all roads always lead to the NFL for him.
Yeah.
So it's basically this is an easier path to keep
Less
himself,
risky.
Yeah,
less
but I-
risky
it's
to keep
risky.
himself
My question about that
the
is-
hot name for a very long
And
time.
also, I feel like it was starting to get a little bit hot at Oklahoma for him
Maybe.
because
Well,
they
but-
weren't
Couldn't
doing
he have
it.
gone to Oklahoma to NFL now?
well, he's
Did he
been
have
linked to
have
the
this?
Cowboys
Yeah,
job
he could've,
forever.
but the right job, like if he goes to USC and he's good at USC, then he can pick
Yeah.
the job. Right now, I think he's in the state of he can't pick the job, but he could,
I will say when I didn't feel this way for you. Like when we got Harbaugh originally, I was over the moon. That was like my number one guy, who I wanted, big deal. Like I wasn't Lincoln Riley. The way USC was talking, like he wasn't. They were acting like they got Saban. Like that, to me, he hasn't.
I think it's
proven.
pretty alluring just the fact that he gets all the quarterbacks
he's
and
gonna
all the
score points.
receivers. Yeah, that's
just
fun.
need and some
Already got a
excitement.
5-star
Yeah.
commit at USC quarterback for next
I-
year.
and
Well, he was Oklahoma.
I know,
yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but now he's
I mean,
USC.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams might head with
I
him, too.
don't know. He might.
I don't think he will because he has Jackson Dart and Malachi Nelson.
I don't know why these coaches
That's a good name. That's
don't
a good
just everyone lies, so it doesn't matter. But just stop lying. Like no one believes whatever you say.
But they kind of have to lie up until like the whole people saying like, oh well, Lincoln Riley was recruiting me a week ago. Well, what is he supposed to? He can't stop recruiting.
Yeah, right.
He can't be like, I'm not going to recruit. And,
Right. But
So-
the whole
He can't be
the
in
whole
living
thing is
room
Madison.
saying he's going to USC.
Yeah.
And I do think it's spiraling to a point that who knows? I mean, in a weird way, at least everyone knows what page they're on. Players can leave. It's a one-year portal. The pressure to do all this crazy. Also, while I have a minute before I forget, I want to publicly apologize. I tweeted this yesterday. I want Jim Harbaugh to be fired. I did.
Many times.
Well, yeah, and
Many
credit
times.
toward Manuel.
Lot
I
of
sat with him
times.
at the Big Ten Championship
Many
basketball that Michigan won at Madison Square Garden. And I was wrong, and it takes a Michigan man to admit that he was wrong. But thank God we got Harbaugh. He has done what he said he's going to do, and it takes a while to get your program. So hand up, Michigan man. I was wrong. Credit to Ward Manuel. Credit to Jim Harbaugh. But I want the record. It's great. It's great to be back and to be a
Very big of
superpower.
you.
We got to admit, football's better. Like you said with USC, it's better when Michigan's here.
Brandon doesn't agree with that, but
It's a premier program.
Yeah, fine. That's fine. Why are y'all looking at me?
you go,
He doesn't need my approval for this.
Well, she said your name.
well, no, because I don't know. Did you know you made a noise out loud?
I was clearing my throat.
Are you rooting for them to win the whole thing?
No.
Ev?
You have
Ev.
to root for them to get to the playoff.
In my brain, I've put them in the national championship.
No, but you have to root for them to get to the
You're winning to
playoff.
win the
Yes,
whole
you
thing,
do.
right?
No, don't listen to him. He's an SEC fuck.
Fuck them.
Don't listen to him.
Do you know the
can't-
credibility
people,
and prestige we bring to the conference? with the title?
People don't understand.
Well, no, I mean, Ohio State, we've already done it.
People don't understand, by the way.
We've done- we've
This
won
is
a
not-
national title.
No, we're not talking the horse and buggy era.
Stop. Don't listen to him. People don't understand. Like, college football is the one sport where you do get to a point where you have to root for teams that you play against.
And
It matters
But-
next year when they do the
Because
BCS.
Because it makes
matter-
your team better.
Well, not only
And
that,
they
but
look-
if the Big Ten has a season where they don't have representation in the college football playoff, that's bad. Look where the Pac-12 is right
Yes.
And that's why whenever people are like, oh, SEC teams always root for each other in the playoffs, it's like, yeah, no shit. If
And it-
Alabama wins, then that makes A&M look better.
But I don't want
It's not-
Michigan to win it all.
it's
I
not-
don't
it's
want them
not
to win
only
it all.
I want them to get to the playoff.
I want them to get to the playoff. I want like Cincinnati to win it all.
If Michigan wins it all, then when we're in this situation next year, people remember that. It's like bubble teams like, well, that's the best conference. Michigan proved it. They have men.
I want Notre Dame to win it all because it would be the funniest sports story of all time.
Yeah, that he left.
I'm
That might be a
hoping.
funnier story on deck.
What?
What if Notre Dame hires Luke Fickell between now and like Saturday?
I don't think he will.
talk-
Luke
talk-
Fickell's not that. Luke Fickell, Brian Kelly did nothing that was out of the ordinary for Brian Kelly.
Brian
in
Kelly's
terms
a
of,
massive
like,
asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Luke Fickell actually is, it seems like a very loyal guy who's probably going to be like, Notre Dame, if you want me, you can have me in 5 days. You
Right.
don't need me right now.
I think like he'll
I think
wait.
that's part of why Notre Dame said we're going to do it differently.
Yeah, right.
I think they're legit.
prob-
They might be waiting for Fickle.
They probably
Totally
called up
fine.
Luke Fickell and they're like, we are not going to pressure you. Go play in the playoff. Call me when you're done.
You know what I hope, and a lot of people haven't mentioned, which is a good thing as well for college football, is now that Brian Kelly skirted, maybe those chicken shits at Notre Dame will put us back on the schedule. Maybe not after they saw what we did to the Scarlet and Gold.
Let's get to the locks of the week. Brandon has officially won the $50,000 in crypto at 10-3. Have we moved anywhere? Like, are you going to help him get that or no?
I'll see how I'm feeling.
Oh, that's a step.
He'll get it. I don't know when.
Can I just real? I was planning to do this. Will you please help me?
No, that's not going to affect anything. I'll help when I'm ready to help.
So Brandon has officially won. Ev, you and I just an absolute horrific season. I mean, Brandon, do you just want to? It doesn't really matter anymore, but obviously.
Yeah, but I do have a good lock. I love my lock this week. So
Oh, your lock is an FCS lock, right?
it is an FCS lock, and it's
Okay.
a Barstool lock. It's supporting one of our own because Deion Sanders has re-energized Jackson State football. The SWAC championship game this Saturday is in Jackson Memorial Stadium. And that hasn't happened in decades. That town, that state is abuzz with Deion. They are playing a Prairie View team that just lost to Mississippi Valley. Last night it was 6.5. These FCS lines move quickly. I don't know what it is today. But Jackson State minus 6.5 against Prairie View at home to win the SWAC. That is my lock.
And obviously we're all Dion guys, but this current state of college football, in which basically it's I don't even know what to compare. I was going to say it's the pros. It's not college. There's just no contracts for anybody. We talked about that earlier. I don't know how college football coaches are the only people in the universe who don't have to abide by contracts, but they've managed to do that.
Yeah, we talked about it on the Pro Football Show with Dion.
It's crazy. But the fact that players now every year to have a guy like Dion as your head coach,
Yeah.
I mean, he is going to get a big time D1 job, and he's going to be very
Are you
successful.
surprised he's not getting it now? Because it doesn't seem like he's being talked to very much. I don't know if he is or not.
He does. It doesn't seem he's still
Like
recruiting pretty
TCU was
hard.
open, they didn't. Doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that, well, whatever. Ev, what's your lock?
So mine, I'm going to take Cincinnati because I think they're a team that at the beginning of the year, they were super hyped. They've kind of had some bad, because they brought the whole team back, they had some kind of performances. Now they've kind of beating people up. ECU they didn't look great It was a classic sandwich game where they had SMU, then them, then they have the conference championship game. It's at home. It's 10. Houston is a crazy public side right now. Public dogs
really?
die. I think Cincinnati rolls.
85%.
Oh, switch me to Cincy. That's crazy.
It's going back.
Once I saw that, I was like, Cincy's going to
All right, I'm taking Cincy. Switch my pick.
It's
I did not
also
realize it was that
key. It's a true home game.
Yeah.
The biggest game in the history of their program. If they win big, they're probably going to be in the playoff unless Alabama pulls something out of their ass. I like Cincy -10.
Dan?
Georgia. It's my game of the
Yeah.
year.
Oh, that's right.
Time
Game of the year.
Yeah.
Dave?
I think, I don't know, once in a generation a team comes along that clicks. They just click at the right time, right moment. You know who did it? And this shows I'm not being biased. The New York Giants when they beat the Patriots the year that the Patriots were 18-0. They got hot. Everything fell into place at the right time. I think that's happened to the Michigan Wolverines. I really do. I think they go in, even though it is maybe a letdown spot, they have such men, such beasts, such animals on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I think they dominate Iowa, win by 20 plus, and set it up. I think we're going to see a Michigan National Championship. I really do.
I know people are going to say that I'm doing this just to suck up to you, but I have this on my paper, seeing Michigan as well. Because this is the thing. Every time I bet on Michigan and I celebrate that they win, people get pissy, call me a bandwagon fan. So I'm just going to keep putting my money on it. And when Michigan covers at 10.5, I'm going to celebrate it again. And I don't give a fuck what you people
It's
say.
the fashion they did it. The way
Yeah.
they took Ev. You
Right
know
here.
those balloons you can punch and they just come back to take more punishment and it's whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
That's what we're doing. Just beat
Yes,
them up.
it was already here. So let's go to the top 10s. I'm going to start with mine. Brandon, please try to contain yourself when I
Michigan's
say
really
that.
good against the spread too.
Yes.
What are
very
they?
good.
10-2.
10-2.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So pretty, obvious. I did put Iowa down there just because I want whenever Michigan blows Iowa out to look even better. But yeah, this is very, very chalk. It's pretty much the same thing that the committee has as well. It pains me to put Baylor up there, but they deserve to. But I think that Georgia and Michigan are in their own league at this point. Let's go to Ev.
Pretty much the same as yours. It's a 5-6-ish team race. I think Oklahoma State's going to handle business. I think they get in. I think Cincy does as well. I think they get in. I think it's Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma State, Cincy.
Brandon?
Yeah, I got some differences because I got Alabama out of the top 4. I don't think they're a top 4 team right now. I don't think they're that good. I think they're going to get beat this weekend. And look at me. Credit to me. Ole Miss, number 8.
There you go.
Didn't do it all year, but they beat us. They beat our fucking ass.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. You walked around just
Oh, no,
telling
well,
everyone.
well,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, stay tuned. I purposely didn't bring that up because we have something to settle. So you'll be able to.
I've been right
forgot
about
about
Ole Miss all season.
Yes.
Forgot about the egg.
Yes, we do have the eggs.
You've
Dan,
been
what's your
playing
top
with them
10?
the whole time.
Yeah, I forgot. I just forgot about him. There's my top 10. You know, I'm going to say something, and everyone's going to laugh at me because I was very wrong the first time around.
Say it.
There's a crazy scenario of utter chaos that number 10 team finds a way in.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's right.
No,
but
Oregon,
If
there's a
Michigan
crazy.
loses-
you got a problem with that.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that
Oklahoma
because
State loses.
you would need 5 to lose and 9 is ahead of 10.
Yeah, but I think
How would they
Oregon would
yeah.
beat Utah. I think Baylor, their other
It's the
loss
same-
is TCU.
Yeah, but they
That's
also lost to
tough.
Oklahoma State.
So you're
tough.
saying,
But I think
you're
Oregon-
saying
I think
Georgia
getting
beats
boat
Alabama,
race-
Michigan loses, Cincinnati
lost to
loses,
Yeah,
Oklahoma
no,
State
Oregon-
loses.
And they lost by
Yeah.
like 30.
But then if Baylor,
Oregon beats Utah by more than Baylor beats Oklahoma State, they would get in. And
I-
they also
I
have the
don't
best loss,
think so,
they
but-
have the best win of the season at Columbus.
But if pure chaos happens, who knows? Maybe
It's
both
fun
of
to
them are
just play pure chaos.
Right.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Georgia kills Alabama, throw that out, and then Michigan, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State all lose.
I got another pure chaos. Alabama loses and other chaos happens. You can't rule out the committee having to decide between 2 lost Alabama or Ohio State. You cannot rule that out.
But see, that's where Oregon would come in.
It would help them, but if pure chaos, if
Yeah.
they lose to
The
Utah,
only
they
thing
wouldn't
with-
be there. So
it would be
Wait a
depend
minute,
on
Iowa's 10-2, so they
Yeah.
go in ahead of Ohio State, won't they?
if they win the Big Ten championship.
No, they have 3 losses.
No, they're
no, they're
10-2.
10-2.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
So how would you ever put?
Yeah.
Ohio
Well,
State?
that's
Yeah.
certainly a
But that's why I
that's a
have
wrinkle in the
Iowa
plan.
in
You know
Yeah.
what? I have to respectfully recuse myself from this conversation because my team's involved. And the announcers, they gotta.
Yes.
We're an hour and a half into this.
No, I
Well, no, when you talk about
this,
this.
you're crazy. It's
Okay, so
my
your,
team's
your
involved.
top 10, Dave?
I had it right with my 1-2 last week because I knew we were going to man ball them. I knew we were going to line up, look them right in the face, punch them in the mouth, and watch them whimper. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I think Georgia wins. I think Michigan wins. I think Oklahoma State loses. I think Cincinnati's in. So if Oklahoma State loses, that puts Notre Dame in.
Probably yes. assuming Alabama also loses. That's
Well, yeah.
There's some chaos out there. I don't
Yes.
think it's going to
Oh,
happen.
I'd love to get my hands on Notre Dame.
I don't. Think
I'd
it's
love
go-
to get my
I don't
hands
think
on
it's going to happen. I think it's more likely that it's going to the four that
They'd
are going
never
to
go
be
to
in.
3, though, would they?
I don't think so.
No, I think it's going to end up being Michigan versus Oklahoma State and Georgia versus Cincinnati.
Cincy. That's what I think
for the
too.
college football.
They would definitely put Cincy at 4, no doubt.
Yep.
Okay, so we've made it through the entire show without mentioning the Egg Bowl. That was Thanksgiving night. If you watched the stream, Brandon had a very hard night. Also, I mean, again, we just have to speak the facts here, Dan. I know you're about to bring it up. Brandon did tell us very confidently on
private,
and off
too.
air, right?
In private. I
that he
told
was never,
everyone.
He was not
And he would
worried
do the thing like
at
he
all.
doesn't
know nothing.
But he'd come up and be like, I just like vividly remember it. I'd be like, "You nervous for the Egg Bowl?" And he just went, "Dan, we're gonna win this guy."
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you don't know.
he would say that to me too. I asked him at one point
In like
if
a
he was
whisper voice.
even nervous about the stream at all. He said absolutely
I
not.
was
He did
never
not care.
nervous. I thought we were going to beat the shit out of him.
Well, part of it,
didn't.
the vibes. That was the first time he was back in the gambling
Why?
game since.
I just thought I thought they were overrated. I thought we were better. I thought we were playing better football.
So at the very end of
That's
the game,
what I
I
thought.
thought Mackerel sucked.
I did. I didn't think he sucked. I thought he was overrated. I thought all that.
at the end of the game, that
Still think
you were-
that.
Debating, I'm going to the Michigan game, and I think Trent's going to come with. And then a camera. I was thinking,
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I may bring Ev.
Yeah, you should.
Oh. you haven't been able to yell in his face at all.
I may bring Ev. Nice trip Saturday to Indiana, round trip ticket to Indy.
Wow. I mean,
That would be fun.
Day out with the boys?
you thought you got away with him not screaming in your face an entire time. Now you're just gonna have
There's
to. watch
going to be
Michigan.
some Ohio State fans there
Yeah,
because they bought all the Hollywood hotels.
And they don't want to give them up. They're being so sports. They're like, we're not going to sell them. I also, I've said it on every show, but if Michigan wins the national championship, Patriots win the Super Bowl, I've tried to find, nobody has pointed out a prominent fan double. I will throw a parade for myself in the Canyon of Heroes in New York.
Yes. The first ever
fan parade.
Yeah, the first ever fan parade.
And there's
which,
a legit chance. I'm trying to get the Davy double in the sports book, but Wesley's being an asshole.
Okay, so it's time to settle the egg bet. At the end of the Egg Bowl, you almost only had 3 eggs.
Yeah, we
So
didn't
now-
score that last
Untimed
touchdown.
down.
Untimed down.
Do you know I have an egg?
Yeah, you
So,
didn't know,
yeah.
did you know that part?
I do. The rundown the other
So
day, he gave you
Mintzy,
the floating.
come on in.
Are you using
Come
it
on
today
in.
or are you going to float it?
No. Okay, so Mintz is here. Why don't you explain what you did with Dave?
Okay, well, in the spirit of the egg bet, and Dave feuding with Walker and all the beef and the jinxing him out of a $500,000 bet, I thought it was
It wasn't only the jinx. It was the fuck you to a guy who's losing $500,000. That was what really
just-
sent it to another level.
I just felt like it was the honorable thing to do
I
to give
appreciate
to Dave.
And I've been on Ole Miss the whole season.
You have, because you even had the live line against Bama, the game we got killed. You even.
That game shocked me. Other than that, I thought they've been very good.
The famous, you had the guy in the stands who said it was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the
Yeah.
sky's blue. The sky's blue in other news, and these eggs are about to be yolky.
So it's 10 total eggs, correct?
Yeah, so
Nine.
Ole Miss.
Nine.
So
But 9
I have
today.
9 to throw.
And then
10
Dave gets one whenever he wants it.
For the rest of the year. So 365 days.
So the egg bowl.
Dave can use it whenever you use it off the.
I used it the first
The
college
first-
football show
right.
'cause I actually brought it into the stadium for Game 3 of the College World Series, but I thought it would be really lame to smash an egg on Walker when his team won the national title.
Would have been good if they lost.
No, it was perfect if they lost, but when they won, I was just like, he's not going to care. You know?
All right. So this year, last year we all almost got pelted with them. So this year the 3 of us are going to move
All right,
over with
little
Ev.
switcheroo.
Little
Okay.
switcheroo for the boys.
Thank you, Lane Kiffin, Matt Corral, boys.
Yes.
We gotta
Tennis
get out of
dude.
Where
harm's
are we
way
going?
here.
Yeah, you have to bring him.
We're going over by
You
Ed
got to
to
make him
stay.
wear Ohio State's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we're standing
maybe I'll
up.
get that shirt
All right.
printed, born on third base.
Make him wear it?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh damn!
wow.
All right.
You wearing a Born on Third Base shirt? Holy shit.
Okay.
Okay.
A diamond with
I guess
Big Ev
I'll
just
bring-
standing on third base.
I'm gonna bring these guys. They crack pretty.
They do?
Yeah.
All right. I don't want any of these to bounce off of him.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Remember the one
Try
last
to
year
hit one
that
right
hit
in
the
his
mirror?
forehead.
Yeah.
No, not throwing it in my face.
Yeah, no. One in his
Why are you
face.
wearing the goggles?
Just aim right for his mouth.
I'm scared.
Yeah, right for his
That's
mouth.
like begging for
Also,
it.
you can't move.
You should have gone to a
can't
hockey
move.
thing.
You can't move.
Well, there's
Can't move.
You should have gone to a hockey.
You can't
Mask.
move. What are you doing with your goggles?
I wanted to face one down. This is.
You can't move.
Okay, you ready?
Should have gotten a hockey match.
Don't throw
Hold
too
on,
hard,
hold on,
Mitch.
hold on.
Remember you threw
Yeah,
too
no,
hard
it's
last time? You
Don't
didn't
throw
hit
too
make
Make
hard.
sure you get up close to that
These
line.
things do
Yeah,
hurt.
Mercy.
I am.
Well, maybe you're
Wait, time.
Brandon, shut the fuck up.
Can I throw one?
No.
You got to do
Mintz
it
said
eventually.
yeah.
If you want to.
No.
so many.
That's not the bet. That's not the bet.
I can throw one.
We're not altering the bet.
He gave one to Dave.
What am I'm powerless against that one. Okay.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
He moved.
He moved.
I can't.
You moved. You moved out of the way.
Adam Sandler and Happy
actually
Gilmore.
gets an extra one.
See,
this is the
Back
problem.
him a little bit.
It's a problem.
Yeah, this is.
That's two.
This happened last year.
Yeah, I
Well,
know. I
Brent
gotta,
Walker, like,
What?
psychs him out by the mass. Let's just whip it at him.
No, don't whip it at me.
Well, your team should win.
Things aren't cracking very good. Things aren't
Here.
cracking very good.
Pre-crack.
Pre-crack. Okay, pre-crack.
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 A little higher near the neck.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's a good one.
That was actually directly at his balls.
That was right in his balls.
Good shot, Mincy.
Oh yeah, and it cracked. Perfect. I'll pre-crack all of these.
That made up for the first
That was
three bad
great.
ones.
Does it look like he came in his pants?
Right in the dick.
You look at his pants.
It looks like you peed
Look at
your
him.
pants.
Look at him. Look at us.
I guess next year he's gonna wear a cup.
Yeah. How many was that?
That was 4.
Well, the first one didn't count.
No,
He
if you
moved.
count it, that
He
counts.
moved.
You can't shoulder
No,
dip.
You moved your
You can't
shoulder.
shoulder
Guys,
dip.
I can't.
You moved your shoulder.
Just
What's
did
your
this.
what's your
You
ruling?
moved your shoulder. It literally
Hey,
went right by
Dave
you.
said you moved.
You got a Happy Gilmore.
Worst case,
You moved.
Dave said you moved.
So this is
You got
four.
a Happy Gilmore.
This is his fourth
Firm.
throw. This is his fourth throw.
I don't make the rules. I'm just here to play the game.
Oh God.
Guys,
Get a violin in here.
who said that? Shut the fuck up, Blackman.
Seriously, we still have to do
Give me a
pick
hurry
'em.
up.
Yeah.
Osco's gonna cry.
That's a good
We're in the-
spot.
That's a great spot. That was 4. Oh yeah, get him in the face.
No,
5. Just
Little crow hop, I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
All right.
that was 6. Throw one in his face.
Okay.
No.
Go up top.
Go.
Go up
Go
top.
A little
top.
higher, Mincy.
Oh,
Good.
That was 8.
Was pre
He's eight.
Whining.
Oh.
That one was.
That was 8.
that was 8. No, that was 8.
That was
Yeah,
eight.
so now
All right.
9. Here's 9.
For the 9th egg, just it felt like the right thing to do to honor Barstool history.
Oh,
We're
yes.
calling in the righty from
Hold on,
the
let me crack another one.
No. I agree to a bet with him, not whoever this bitch is. Who is this? Okay, that's fine.
So me and Brandon, all respect to you, well, no disrespect, I wanted to do this for Dave as an honor to tribute for giving me my life.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
wow.
And don't forget what he did to me. Cost me half a
I mean,
mil.
that as well.
At a minimum.
Don't throw
You
it.
got that line, Devil. You got that line.
Got that? And again, no disrespect, Brandon.
Okay.
That was great.
Good one, Ed.
Devlin, that was fucking great.
shot.
Holy
That was
shit.
a good one, Ed.
Good one.
Way
Good
to
job,
end it. Right across his face.
No disrespect, Brandon.
Look forward to seeing what you do with the egg next year.
Well,
I'm going to wait for his lowest.
thanks for
number.
hanging
Also,
out with
Dave,
us
there's
this season.
Ole Miss Notre Dame. It's
Been a great season.
Right there,
We'll be at the Arizona Bowl.
Might be.
Sorry for your bad luck,
January
Brandon.
1st.
This is the
Yeah,
Barstool
so
College
like
Football
might
Show.
be a
I'm the
double
only
header.
one ending the show. We'll see you guys next season. Thanks for coming out.
One thing to remember when you're gambling on the Barstool Sportsbook app, make sure that you gamble responsibly, know your odds, know your chances of losing.
Gamble responsibly. Nobody wants to end up in a trash can.
You can play with Penn National, which is a licensed and regulated operator. Big words. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.